Hey, what is up, guys? We are about to be going live here in just 1 second. I'm making sure everything is still looking good on my end, but yeah, thank you so much for jumping on. I'm Brandon. If you guys don't know me, I am the community manager here at Inventables, as well as the training. So I'm seeing a bunch of you guys already in the chat. Sorry if you saw some like weird stuff on my screen when we were first starting. I've got a way, hopefully I can put things on screen. So I'm seeing lots of you folks. Let me see if I can get this so it's not so turned over to the side. We've got, let's see, Derek White from Nashville. What is up? I am seeing Terrible Cow, which is an amazing name. What is up? You are calling in from Boise, Idaho. We've got Bilal Mek from Algeria. Nathaniel from Ohio. So if you guys are watching, make sure and let us know where you are watching in from, whether you are on YouTube or you are over on Facebook or even over on Twitch. So sorry, this one might be a little bit rough, guys. I've had a cold the past few days, so my voice has been hurting pretty bad. But yeah, so I'm sorry if I'm coughing and doing some not so fun stuff during this stream. But the plan for today is we are going to be going through the winners of the Pro Design Challenge. And if you guys don't know what that is, basically we did a challenge during the month of February to use one of the Pro designs inside of Easel. And so tons of folks entered. Actually, we have about 55 people enter. They carved it out, and then we've got some winners. So we actually have 3 overall winners, and then we got a couple honorable mentions just because we thought the projects were really cool as well. So that is the idea. Like, we're going to go through those. It's not going to be a super crazy long stream today, but if you guys have general Easel questions, let me know in the chat. And we'll be doing some kind of like general Q&A. Maybe there's something to get a question about. We can definitely walk through that towards the end once we get through the winners. But yeah, so that is the plan. Hopefully everything is working. You guys can hear me. I saw something a second ago. I can do this, Eric. Eric asked if I could give, let's see, Dan Metzel a shout out. What's up, Dan? We got a bunch of other people. We got Greg from New Orleans. We've got Pedal Box from UK. And before we even got started, let's see, we had Trevor. I think you're winning because you're calling in all the way from Australia, which is pretty wild. Cool, guys. Yeah, so let us know where you are watching. And again, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat, and we will get to them here in just 1 second. Sorry, I need to get a good mute switch. So Keith wants me to do a backflip. Sorry, Keith, I cannot do that. With all of the COVID craziness, I have been about 0% active, and even if I was active, I couldn't do a backflip. So, but yeah, for real, if you guys have Easel questions, let me know, and we will jump into those. A couple other housekeeping things before we get going is on Wednesday, and actually I'm gonna grab the link for this. We're gonna be doing another Easel 101. There was actually one we did as an Easel Live a couple weeks ago, but this one's gonna be actually more of like a workshop / webinar, and so we're gonna be doing it through Zoom. And it's like not paid, we're not doing anything like that, but it's we just kind of want to test that format out, and I'm actually trying to grab the link real quick for you guys. If you would like to join us, then I'll drop the link in the chat. Then I would love for you to just go ahead and register. It's going to be at 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern, if you guys want to jump in. Again, we'll be going through the Easel basics in general, as well as some of the setup stuff for the X-Carve. And then I do know that I mentioned last week that we would actually be in the shop. We're not in the shop, but we will be next week, because I forgot we needed to announce the winners of the Pro Design contest. Cool. All right, so I am seeing a couple questions coming in. Thanks, Terrible Cow. We'll get to that one. Several questions. One thing that will be helpful, because I think the chat might be pretty active today, if you do @Inventables, that helps flag it for me so that I know to go back through and check it. So cool, guys. All right, well, hopefully this music isn't super loud. I might just keep it running if that's cool with you guys. Let's go ahead and get rolling. Let's see. Actually, I'll go ahead and answer a couple questions. First off, This is from... All right, Derek, you are saying that you did register earlier today. Thank you so much. So that is for the webinar. Yeah, make sure you guys register if you want to do that. Again, it's totally free. This might be something we do for brand new users for Easel moving forward. So we wanted to test it out. So even if you guys have used it for a super long time, love for you to jump in and see if it's something that might be helpful for you. There was a question I did want to hit real quick. Browser that works best. So Terrible Cow, I use Chrome is what I use mostly, and actually Chrome is pretty much our most popular, but you can use other browsers if you want. Gosh, I thought the coughing would not be bad, but yeah, Chrome's the best one for us right now. Let's see. Cool, guys. All right, do you want to find out the winners? Yes, no, maybe so. Cool. All right, so all right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. I am going to actually pull up some pictures real quick that I don't think you're going to be able to see them yet. So we have kind of the way we're going to do this is I want to show you 2 of the honorable mentions. Then we're going to jump into some of their projects. I think I can get into some of them. Some of them are private, but we'll just talk about some of the things that they made on it that I thought was pretty cool. And then, like I said, we'll do Q&A at the very end. So make sure to ask questions that you guys have. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our very first winner. Or not winner, so these are just honorable mentions. So these aren't the prizes. All right, so the very first honorable mention, this is going to the day and night clock. Let me see if I can turn myself on. And this one was super cool. So what I really liked about it was just how it was multi-layered. So this is actually something that I've seen like lots of laser designs that people have done that will do kind of multi-layered wood stuff like this. But we thought this was cool on the CNC side that it's both day and both night. But turn myself off. One thing I also wanted to show, let me turn this off real quick, is we can actually jump into the project. So I think this one might be available. But again, if you guys want to check out all of them, they are, if you just go to Invendables.com, projects, and then featured projects, and then the Easel Pro Design Challenge. Actually, let me drop this. I'll drop this in as well. And then at the very bottom of this, you guys can see all of the different submissions that we had. Now, actually, I need to back up because I lost that link. But this one we thought was pretty cool. I'm gonna actually open it. Hopefully it opens. We'll see. Probably should have checked this beforehand. Yeah, this one was one of the more complicated ones that I thought was pretty cool. And so you can see he used the workspaces really well. We've talked about workspaces in the past, but sometimes we use workspaces to where you can have them go through, let me turn this on, where you can use it as a kind of like a revision history. So maybe you do a design and then you want to make some edits to it. And so then you make a new workspace. And the workspace, again, is this thing at the very, very bottom. And then you would make your changes and go. But this one was actually more like layers. And so they did a really good job. Like I said, this is pretty complicated. And honestly, I'd forgotten the fact that it's actually, he cut out the gears and stuff to make everything work. So yeah, this is a really, really cool project from the get-go of what he was able to do. So that is the day and the night clock. Okay, now we got one more honorable mention for you. This is also a pretty fun one. This is not the day and night clock, sorry guys. Sorry, I had the wrong one pulled up. Okay, so I don't have the picture, but let me throw this off and I will show you what we're looking at. So the other one that I wanted to show you guys as well was, let me make sure I don't cut the wrong thing. Okay, so this was the Ender 3 enclosure, and we've got a few folks that are with us that work for individuals that are 3D printer enthusiasts. And so they even pointed this one out specifically when they saw it come in. They thought it was pretty cool that they were making an enclosure for this. And also, if you guys didn't know, so kind of the way we did this for the first round for challenges is we just opened the voting up to our staff and individuals. We got about sorry guys, my coughing is real bad today. We have about 30 to 40 people that went through and picked their favorites. And we did kind of a big, just pick your favorite ones, and then we hit this final 5, and then they voted on those. So anyway, this was definitely one of the ones that showed up. I thought there was a pretty cool design they've got on the side. I don't think this one was public, or maybe it was. Yeah, it was public. Okay, cool. So you guys can see, this is a pretty simple design, but pretty cool. So it's got the creality, I can't talk, as well as our easel logo with the honeycomb stuff that looks real cool. So this was another great one from, this is Shane Jamerson. So Shane, thank you so much. Sorry guys. Right here was all the different designs. And again, you guys can go in and click through and see all these as well. And you can see all the stuff that we're looking at. But yeah, so this was a great one too. Okay, so now let's actually talk about some of the ones that were prizes. So, and just to double check, so that we all know, so the prize is, so first place is going to be an X-Carve, second place is going to be a 1-year Easel Pro, and third place is going to be a $100 Inventables Bits and Materials gift certificate. So let's go ahead and talk about third place. Oh, also looks like Jason Gazana is in the chat, and he was saying that that is movable. So that is cool. Thanks, man. All right, so third place is, this is the keepsake box. So this is $100 bits and materials. Again, this one is coming from Britton Hardy. And so Britton, I don't believe this is one that was public. Yeah, I think I can't get into this one. But this one we thought was really cool. Really good use of just carving. I think this is V carving? It may not even have to be V carving, but really detailed, intricate. We loved the rose design, so Brittany did a great job on that one. This was a super popular one, folks liked. And then if you guys are watching this live, then you can reach out to me directly, brandon@inventables.com. I'll put my email in the chat, and then we can get with you. But also, I will be reaching out to you as well to get you all the information about the how to get your prize and everything. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about number 2. And so this is going to be for I'm making sure I didn't say the wrong thing. 1-year Easel Pro gift certificate. All right, or 1-year Easel Pro subscription. Alrighty. And so in second place, we have got the cactus ornament, which we just thought just looked really fun. We loved the picture, and I'm guessing you're in a place that can have cactuses, because that does not look like where I'm from. But thank you so much. This was a real cool one. Again, this one is coming in from Janae Taylor. So Janae, congratulations. This one was really, really neat, and a couple different pictures that we've got for it. So thank you, Janae. Again, we will be reaching out to get your Easel Pro subscription, monthly subscription. I need a prescription for some cough medicine. Subscription for the rest of the year. All right, guys. Very last one. Now we're going to go first place. This one, when I first saw this one come through, I was like, oh, this is fun. And I actually emailed back and forth with the person a little bit to get the backstory, but I did not relay that backstory to our staff. So that wasn't at all going into their like their bias or anything. It was just off of the pictures that they saw in the projects. But we do have a little bit of the background on this. So in first place, you guys ready? This is Games and Brains. You are going to win a brand new X-Carve, and this one, guys, this one's super cool. This is a father and a son team for a science fair project, and they carved out, you can see there's like a game controller and a brain controller as well as the text. I think this was out of foam. It might have been out of like the pink foam that you spray, or might have been more dense foam. But there's a, hold up, let me find the hypothesis because I thought it was pretty funny. So let's see, is it, oh, you can't see it. Oh yeah, so let me read the hypothesis if you guys can't see it. My mom thinks that playing too many video games will rot my brain. I have a slightly different opinion. Through the scientific method, I want to prove my hypothesis. So this was just funny all around, and it was just a great use of the X-Carve. These actual carves are super, super cool. So so great job I actually had to post this because they're having problems posting, but great job. This was a super, super cool one. So yeah, these are our winners. So congratulations to everybody that went through. Again, we'll go through all of them real quick. We had our honorable mention, the day and night clock. Super cool, different layers. And then the next up, actually, I can't show it because I forgot to load up the picture, but that was the Ender 3 enclosure. And then we've got the keepsake box with the great roses on the tops and the sides. Then the cactus ornament. And then first place is Games and Brains for convincing everyone around the world that video games are good for you. So, so yeah, guys, that was our very first design challenge. If you guys entered, thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of it. We are planning on doing more of these in the very near future. So we will announce this either through email, on our Easel Lives, or through the website. Give me one sec. But yeah, so that was fun. So we really enjoyed doing it. These were things we actually did a couple of years ago. We did some of these challenges, and actually for the next round, the plan is we don't want to just leave the voting on our end. We want to open up to you guys. So what we'll probably do is have our staff kind of narrowed. Actually, what we'll probably do is have the public narrow down their favorites, maybe down to the top 10. And then internally or with like a panel of folks, we'll have them pick their top 3 to go from there. So, so very cool. So yeah, so we got lots of folks commenting. Steve Carmichael, who actually does a ton of really cool projects with Inventables. If you guys did not know, congratulations and congrats. Also saw Papa, who is always here doing some awesome stuff. Very nice designs, fantastic work, everyone. Lots of folks. Kevin, well done. Derek, congratulations. Technically woodworking. Good job all around to everyone who participated. And thank you so much, guys. If you guys did participate, it was really cool. Like I encourage all of you guys to go through, go down here into the Prove It section, and you can see all of the 55 designs. Next time around, we're going to make this submission process a little bit easier. I know that was a holdup for several of you guys. You kind of had to do multiple submissions, and it was being weird. But we want to make it easier for you going forward. But hopefully now you can go in and of the ones that were shared public, you can actually kind of see how they designed their easel files. Cool. All right. So speaking of easel, I'm going to look over to the chat real quick and let's see what questions that we've got. I think we had a couple that were coming in. Again, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. The stream isn't going to be super long today. We just really want to announce the winners, but we can definitely do it as well. Actually, okay, so this is going back to the browser question. So Derek White was asking or said that Chromium, or the new Edge browser, I guess the Microsoft browser, is on Chromium, and it works well as well. All right, trying to see. I feel like there were a couple other questions. Yeah, any just general easel questions for you guys. Make sure and put that in there. Okay, so this is a really good one. This is coming in from Trevor. Make sure that is showing up all the way for you guys. He's saying when using auto feed rate, plunge rates, and depths of cut, how do you know what the spindle speed should be if you have a manual speed control router for a spindle? Guys, that was off the whole time, wasn't it? Sorry, I was talking. I need a cough switch so that I stop muting myself in the middle of this. Okay, so I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. When did I'm looking back in the chat to see when I stopped being muted. Okay, I'll just do feeds and speeds in general. So the idea with feeds and speeds is, especially if you guys are doing wood stuff, is that with our spindles that you can do something as low as possible, usually 1 and 2 on like the DeWalt 611 dial, because you're really wanting to make chips and you're not wanting to make sawdust. And so this all gets into the chip load. And again, I put this link in the chat. You can get into feed rates, all that kind of stuff. But with the actual X-Carve Pro, we have an actual spindle. It's a VFD, a variable feed spindle, sorry, and you can control it through actual easel. So when you go in through your feed rate settings, you guys have seen it before, there's like a spindle setting, but then you can adjust your speed there. What's great about that one is it goes all the way down to 8,000, so you really can get it low enough for a lot of the type of materials that we're using. And if you guys aren't running the normal X-Carve, you even could have a VFD if you've built your own machine. But what I was saying when I was muted is most bit manufacturers also will provide you a chip load, and that chip load is a combination of feed rate and spindle speed. So then you can calculate what your feed rate needs to be based off the chip load, and we get into all that in the article. Sorry about the sound, guys. That was pretty rad. Yeah, there is a graph out there. Derek, let me put that up. Derek is saying there is a graph out there of DeWalt settings 1 to 6 for speed. Yes, Google that. That actually might be Shapeoko, if I remember right, that put that out there. So if anyone finds it, link it in the chat. But yeah, that's a good one as well. Kevin said, if you need to cough at us, no problem, we understand. They make a mute switch that is like a foot switch. I think someone mentioned this. That's what I need, because you have to press it, and then when you bring it off, your audio comes back. I have like a switcher that I'm just manually hitting on and off, and sorry about that. Technically, woodworking next week on the live stream, I say we build a pedal board. That actually would be cool. There's actually a project that someone is working on for us right now that is a pedal board, so be on the lookout for that. I think that's coming out actually in a couple weeks. It's a pretty cool one. Okay, I'm gonna look back at the chat real quick and let's see if we've got any other questions. All right, so Paul Jeffries, hi guys, from South Africa. That's cool. Is it possible to contour carving in easel, for example, guitar neck contour? So Paul, I am guessing you mean, let me pull up a picture and I'll switch over to it real quick. Like a 3D contour? Is that what you mean? So are you talking something, I'm gonna take your question off. But Paul, you're talking probably something kind of like this, to where you want to go in and actually like carve those contours as you're going down the neck. If that's the case, yes, you can do it. You just can't set up the tool paths in easel. And so the way I have actually done this in the past is using Fusion 360, and you can either import a neck model like that, and then you can generate the tool paths in Fusion. Then you can export that G code, then import it into easel. And actually, let me pull up easel to show you guys how to do that real quick. And actually, I'm trying to think if I've had one on this account. I don't think I have any imported G code on this one. I have it on my other account. But if you guys did not know, if you go over here to File, you can not only import an SVG, you can also import G code. And you can just choose your file. And we've got post processors for Autodesk Fusion 360, Meshcam, VCarve, and others. And what these do is basically each of these software, you're going to need a post processor that puts in code that easel knows how to read, and then we can bring it in. I unmuted that time. So yeah, so not directly an easel, yeah. And definitely 3D carving is something we hear a lot. So we do know that is something all of you guys are interested in. Now, you could also be asking, could you just do a contour of a guitar? So meaning, let me switch back, like you wanted to actually make a, well, oh, that's a super big one. Make a guitar shape. Let me adjust this. This was when we were doing the Thailand example, I think. So you're probably talking about like you want to bring in like, or you want to bring in like the contour of a guitar, something like that. You can totally do that in easel right off the bat. So you can do a 2D contour, but if you want to do those 3D carvings, again, you'll need to generate that in Fusion 360 or I think, I guess Aspire is probably what you'd have to use if you wanted to use Vectric, and you can bring it in like that. All right. Let's see, Trevor saying you didn't hear any of the speed stuff. So I went back through it. Let me know, Trevor, if you missed something. Hopefully I said everything. Oh, Derek, so you did are you talking about the guitar? You did one in the projects and you submitted it? Or no, you're talking, you did a pedal board. Is that what you're talking about? I think that is what it is. That's cool. Derek, if so, drop a link in the chat. Love to take a look at it. Okay, so this is from Michael. Sorry, I think, Michael, you'd asked this question already. Is there any way that you can start and starve a carving and go back to where you left off? Yes. Actually, give me 1 second, guys. I need to plug in a dummy X-Carve real quick. Okay, so I have got actually this. I don't know if this is helpful for anybody. Let's see if I can get it into the shot. Can you see it? Maybe. No. This is like a little Arduino board that you can run the firmware, the X-Carve firmware on, or the X-Carve Pro, and you can basically like build your own CNC that way. But also, I can kind of fake it. So that's what I'm doing right now because I'm not plugged into my machine. So yes, let's say we went through this full process. I'm going to start a carve really quick. Let me switch back, sorry. I'm going to go into the carve. Let me actually make something to carve. So while it is carving, you can hit just pause. And then you can, let me turn this off so you can see the whole thing. So you can hit pause up here, and then you can just restart it like that. So yes, you can pause it and restart it as you need. Also, this was something I was actually talking with some of our support guys or customer success guys earlier this week that I'd forgotten about. If you ever have an issue with your carve, something weird happens, always feel free to hit this frown face easel icon and then the get help from Inventables. And then what this does is it actually sends a full system report to us, and then we can help diagnose if something really weird is happening. So just if you've ever had like errors with software in general, having that full report is always something that is super helpful. Okay, cool. Let's go over back to it. Derek, you did a pedal board for your project submission. Okay, let's actually pull that one up. That would be cool to look at. I'm gonna switch back over. And sorry, I wish there was an easier way to scroll through all these quickly. I might have missed it. Yeah, I might have missed it. If you have a link to it, oh, there it is. Okay. Very cool. This actually would be a fun project. I had an old pedal board that I had to get rid of, but it would be fun to make one. So This is very cool. Derek, let's see, did you make this public? Let's see. Oh no, okay. Well, if you do want to make it public, yeah, that'd be a fun one to look at. But yeah, this looks like it's multi-layered. Very cool. Derek, I would actually love to know how you designed it. I see you're doing like the tabs and stuff. And so, yeah, how did you actually design it and then bring it in the easel to carve out? That's a cool design. Okay, going back over. All right, Paul Jeffries managed to knock out 7 by maybe 30, is that what you meant? Maybe 3D signs in a day using easel. Great software, very cool. Derek, start stop will be nice to know if power goes out. Yep, I believe, I need to double check it, but I believe even if your computer loses power, it should auto start back. There is a setting in there that does that. All right. Yes, technically woodworking. Yes, it does attach a full report. You can actually, if you've ever called into our customer success folks, they might have asked you to do, I forget what the G-code command is, that you can open up the console. And actually that's something, let me show that to you guys if you guys didn't know. Again, guys, this is a pretty loose one today. So if you got questions, let me know. And we'll get back to kind of the normal tutorial stuff next week. But if you go into machine, and the machine inspector, this is actually, if you've actually done stuff with like actual G-code, this is where you can enter it in. So you can see all of your settings. And if this is like crazy stuff to you, that's totally fine. But if you know what this means, this is helpful if you wanted to do different commands. Also, this is actually something pretty helpful when you're diagnosing. Maybe you're not sure if a homing switch is working. You can just manually trigger them, and these will click or turn green, as well as a Z probe. And so these are pretty helpful. Also, you can see kind of the machine position, all that kind of stuff. So if you have ever used something like a universal G-code sender, that's like a really small version of that you can get into on our software. I believe, I think there's a keyboard shortcut. Let me see if I remember it. Nope. It might be Command Alt or Control Alt D on a PC. I don't remember what it is on a Mac, and now I can't make this go away. Okay, let's keep looking. Derek White, on shape to get the general design. Very cool. I always forget about on shape. Is that? Yes, that's cool. Okay, awesome. Okay. Steve Knox, I was really pleased about how easy it was to use 2 bits. It was the first time trying that. Yeah, let's actually look at multiple bits real quick. And I cannot get my mini bar to close because my computer's, I don't know what it's doing. So multiple, if you guys didn't know, so you can actually add a detail bit. So right now I have a V bit, but let's say I had this, like I have this big easel live section. So I have this pretty big pocket right here. So let's say that I wanted to cut this out quicker, and I switched my bit over to a, we'll do a 1/4 inch bit. Well, we'll do an 1/8 inch bit because that's one of ours. So this might go a little bit quicker. It was like 28 minutes before, now it's 8. So it's carving out the big sections, but you're not going to be able to get all the detail. Like you can see this isn't going to carve out, but if you go right here, you can use an additional bit, and then it is going to assume you want it as a detail bit, so it's going to make it smaller. But typically what you'll do is you'll do some type of cut if you're doing like a big pocket, and then a V-carve bit, and then you can do 2. And then the process is, once you actually go through the setup, it's going to ask you, are you doing your roughing pass, which again, that is that first one, or you're doing your detail pass, which is the detail bit. And you can do these out of order. So like, just like how we've done tiling, how we've talked about that, you can kind of pick whatever pass you want to run. But normally you're going to want to do your roughing pass, because the detail not only gives you details, but it's also going to clean up the roughing pass. So like if you're using An upcut bit, what's great about that is you're going to have a clean bottom to your pocket. But then if you are doing but then the sides will have, you'll see like little stragglers coming around, and then that V-carve bit will clean all of that up because it's having to go around the sides anyway. So yeah, 2 stage bits, those are pretty cool. All right, let's see. Derek, great question. Yes. Okay. So this is something let's actually get onto a real machine, and I can show you guys this starting next week. Is how do you keep your X, Y, and Z zeroed when switching bits for rough and detailed? So what I do typically is if I'm going through my settings. Well, first of all, let's talk about the layout. So I will have a point, like a physical point of reference where I know where I want my 0, 0 to be. In my case, I actually have a square on the side of the board. So like a little, I'm just like a little square that you can bump things up against. Or you can just use one of the marks on your wasteboard if you're using an X carve. So you just know this is where you want your 0, 0 to be for whatever reason if things move. But then when you go through and you 0 your machine, and actually when you boot this up, it's going to ask you to home it. So one good thing too is if you like home your machine, and then you know the like the very pocket of that little corner is at maybe say it's like 2 inches over and 2 inches up in the X and the Y, and then you always know you can get back, even if you lose complete power, the distance from your home position. So that's always good. Or even if you don't do that, you go through, you move your bit to the very corner. Let me switch this over. So you move your bit to, let me turn this off. So you move your bit to right here. You go through all the settings. You set that as your 0. You use that as your new position. Go ahead and go through and you carve it. Then the next time around, well, I stopped it. So the next time around, we're going through, so we've just did the full roughing pass. Now we're going through and doing the detail pass. Use the last position. So don't do a new position. Even if you've moved your X and your Y, it's going to know your last 0 position, and you'll be able to go through, still 0 your Z, and move forward. So hopefully that helps. I know it's hard if you don't see it. So yeah. Yes, good. This is a good point. Kevin is saying, I find when changing, going between bits, I accidentally nudge the machine. So there's also a setting, if you guys didn't know, and some of that could be maybe your belts are loose. So like anytime you're going to move it, it might maybe not be that the stepper motors are moving, but the actual the gantry is just slipping on the belts. So always make sure your belts are tight. That could be one thing that helps. But also, if you guys didn't know, there is a lock motors. And so usually the motors are unlocked, so they're actually pretty easy to move. So yeah, when you're like cranking on that bit to get it off, that it is pretty easy to move it when you're really pushing on the router. But the locking the motor setting is super helpful. So make sure and hit that when you're doing that bit change, and that should hopefully help as well. Let's see. Papa had a good point where you'd actually do the reverse of what I was saying earlier. So the 2-stage stuff, if you are masking, do the detail bit first. That is a good point. And I'm guessing you mean like physically masking, so not like masking like we do when we set something to 0 in the design, but like you've actually put like blue tape or I forget what the other stuff's called, but yeah, the mask on top. And if you guys didn't know, Papa has an awesome YouTube channel, so you should check it out. And Kevin, give you a shout out. All right, so Kevin had a good point. Could do a session on bit types. Yes, so there is a old Easel Live. Let me link it to you real quick. And actually, let me switch over. if you go to our channel, and it might be buried. Yeah. So this is these are Easel Lives with Mo, who these are a couple years old now, but Bits 101 and then Bits 201, or sorry, Bits 201. These will give you a pretty good overview of the different types of bits and what you would use them for and why. But we can definitely do an updated version of that. So yes, that's a great idea, Kevin. Derek, yeah, so there is that setting where you can have your motors lock. Technically Woodworking was also pointing that out. Oh, and he just said, yeah, I hadn't seen it either. So before I was even like working with Inventables, I remember just one day after doing like hundreds of cars, I was like, wait, what is that? That's cool. So yeah, it's super helpful. All right, so any other questions? I'm looking through the chat right now to see if there's anything else. Any other? Okay, so this is another good one from Derek, was asking, are you doing anything that shows how to bring in VCarve, Aspire, STL from other applications in the near future? Tell you what, let's do, let's see if I've got an STL that's easy to get to. Because we can definitely bring in an STL. That would not be hard at all. I am going to open up Illustrator real quick. I know you guys can't see anything yet. I'm trying to get my dock to minimize because it's really annoying me. Okay, so let's switch it over. Illustrator's actually probably going to take a while. I might have an STL. Let's see if I've got one saved close. You guys can see all of the random stuff I have on my computer. So these, gosh, these are going to be laser files. These are probably going to be, this one might work. Let's see. Let me pull this down. Oh, no. Oh, STL. Sorry. I'm thinking of, I was probably thinking of an SVG file. So not STL. So yeah, you are asking how to do 3D model stuff, right? And then how to do toolpaths and everything to generate for that. So yeah, so we could do I know that's something the Easel team is definitely working on to include in the Easel in the future. But in the meantime, we could totally do Fusion's the one that I know really well. And to do this stuff is actually free. You don't have to get the paid version. But you basically, the process is you would import the STL into Fusion, and then you would generate your toolpaths in Fusion to bring into Easel. So then Easel basically just turns into your CAM software versus doing the CAD stuff. So like doing the actual design stuff, but then you just control everything still in Easel. But yeah, that's a good question. We can definitely do that. This is another good one. Rob is saying, I am struggling 0 point with circular. Okay, so this is something that is helpful when I have done it, and other folks might have better suggestions. But if we go over to our easel file, and I need to move my mic in a different way next time. So I'm just gonna make a big circle. So something circular. Whoa. And then I am going to put it, let me change this because this is probably way bigger than what you guys are doing. Okay, so let's say we make this shape not that big, go 6 by 6 maybe. And then I'm going to center this. Actually, okay, so a couple different things that you can do. One is you can set the 0 point. So you could set the 0 point to there, and then you could still carve it out. you would just need to know how. This is again if you had like that little, like you had a square on the side, and so then you'd still be able to push it up to the edges. So like if let me make it for you so you can see what I'm talking about. So basically, if you had something like this physically on your machine, then you could still push the circle all the way up, and so then if you knew where if you had zeroed right there, you'd be able to cut the whole thing out. But an easier way that a lot of people do is anything that is off of your actual workpiece is still going to carve. So, and this is a totally valid way to do it. Let's say you set the center position of the circle to, and we'll actually make this cut out and not do a pocket. You set it to, and we'll set this to a 1/8 inch bit. Okay, so you set the center to 0. Now what you could do is actually with the X carve, you're going to go in and at the very middle of the machine, so like right there in the middle, you can like do, if this is a square piece of stock to, if this is a square piece of stock to start out, you can draw the 2 diagonals, you can get your very center point. Then you can zero it to the center of your piece of material that is actually connected to your workboard or your X carve. So that is a way that lots of people do it. That is totally easy. So this is what it would look like an easel, but now let's imagine this is your workpiece again. So this is actually clamped down on the board. So this is real life. What you're looking at is going to be something kind of like this, except you'll zero it to right there in the middle. Just on the easel side, you have to have it like that, so it zeros. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, so Rob, hopefully that's kind of answered what we're talking about. Now clamping and all that kind of stuff, there's definitely different tactics to get out after that if it's not square. But yeah, that's definitely one way to do it, is just get to a center point. Or even if it's like a really weird shape, still, if you know there's a certain point on that shape that you can find, you can set that to 0, even if it extends off of the easel workboard, and it's still going to carve out. Cool. All right. Oh, technically woodworking. Yeah, so any word on new app? So not currently. I know that is something we get lots of questions about. And if you guys did not know, what they are asking about is inside of Easel. If you come over here to the little Lego looking guy, this is actually an app library, and you can do a bunch of different things. Some of these have been developed by Inventables, but a lot of these actually have been developed by other folks. And so the inlay generator we actually used last week, and the box maker is super nice. A bunch of different ones in there. But yeah, so right now they're not in active development, but I know that is something that is being talked about. Cool. Alrighty, guys. Well, that is all we got this week. Thanks for hanging out. Congratulations to all the winners. Appreciate you guys jumping in the Q&A. Next week, we'll be back to our regular time, which I just forgot what it was off the top of my head. I think it's 2 Eastern, 1 Central. That'll be next Wednesday, so the 17th of March. Then also, like I said, this Friday, there is a link in the chat. We'll be doing Easel 1-on-1 as a webinar. So actually, if you guys have questions, you could just jump on screen and ask me, and then we can walk through it. But it's going to be limited, so you need to register. It's not going to be, you don't have to pay for it, but since it's going to be through Zoom, we can only have a certain number of people on there. So that's why you got to register. Hope you guys are good. I'd love to connect with you. Hit me up, email brandon@inventables.com if you got ideas for things to do in the future. But hopefully next week, I will see you from inside of my shop. So I will see you guys next time. All right, see ya.